Welcome to CPCS Theory Test, 2022, UK. Question 1. What is the definition of or how can a hazard be described? Answer. A hazard is a situation where there is a potential threat, or risk, to life, health, property, or the environment. Question 2. What is the purpose of a risk assessment? Answer. To identify and place control measures on hazards. Question 3. List 6 typical subject areas that should be covered in a site induction. Answer. Access and egress, accident reporting, confined spaces, buried services, contamination, welfare facilities, electricity, emergency procedures, escape routes, first aid facilities, excavations, fire procedures, method statements, plant and equipment use, lifting operations, working from at height, reporting procedures, reporting G-structure, restricted, prohibited areas, safety signs and signals, site layout, waste disposal, smoking, toilets, traffic routes. Question 4. What 3 duties of the Health and Safety at Work Act must employees follow? Answer. A. Take reasonable care for themselves and others who may be affected by their actions. B. Cooperate with the employer. C. Not intentionally or recklessly interfere with health and safety issues. Question 5. What does the Health and Safety at Work Act require employers to do with regards specifically to plant? Answer. Provide and maintain plant that is safe and without risk to health. Question 6. A. What is the purpose of a method statement, and B. What is required of the operator? Answer. A. A document that gives specific instructions on how to safely perform a work-related task, and B. Comply with the method statement. Question 7. Name 4 different types or levels sanctions that can be applied to plant operators who do not comply with, or follow legislation and regulations. Answer. Verbal warning, written warning, dismissal, prosecution. Question 8. Why are plant operators generally regarded as safety-critical workers? Answer. Their actions, with the machine, could have significant health and safety consequences on themselves and others. Question 9. Name 3 ways in which an operator can minimize their impact upon the environment whilst using the machine. Answer. Efficient use, lower engine speed, well-maintained machine, correct disposal of waste, no spillage of fluids, bio-oils or fuels, prior planning for work task for efficiency. Question 10. In what situation does a hard hat not need to be worn when operating a forward tipping dumper? Answer. Only when sitting in an enclosed cab or structure that meets FOPS criteria. Question 11. The operator has to use a new type of dumper, i.e. swivel skip, that they are unfamiliar with. What do regulations, i.e. PUWER 98, and other guidance require the operator to have? Answer. Sufficient information, instruction, and training on that type. Question 12. What are the possible outcomes of being prosecuted for not complying with legislation and regulations? Answer. Case dismissal, fine, imprisonment. Question 13. The function or job role of a dumper driver, when transporting materials, is to? Answer. To transport materials from and to locations efficiently and safely. Question 14. How can a qualification or card benefit a plant operator? Answer. Credibility, proof of skills, employment prospects, promotional prospects. Question 15. Name 3 ways that a plant operator can contribute in ensuring repeat business with the client or principal contractor. Answer. Work safely, efficiently, complying with method statements, punctuality, cooperation with other workers. Question 16. Where should the dumper's operator's manual be kept and why? Answer. At a place, preferably on the machine, where the operator can have easy unhindered access to the manual. Question 17. When would the skip safety strut or support be used? Answer. When carrying out any work under or near a raised skip. Question 18. If the operator has to top up the hydraulic oil, state 2 precautions to ensure cleanliness of the system. Preparing for work. Answer. Clean the filler, access cap, and area before removing and transfer oil into the tank, using clean equipment. Question 19. What is a possible consequence of using a tire with a deep cut in the sidewall? Answer. Sharp stones or other debris could enter the cut and cause failure of the sidewall, leading to rapid deflation and possible loss of control. Question 20. What is the purpose of a roll or ROPS frame? Answer. To provide some protection to the operating position, as far as is reasonably practical, in the event of an overturn of the machine. For questions 21 and 22, the operator's manual for the machine being used for the test must be available for reference by the candidate. Question 21. Using the operator's manual, state the figure for tires operating pressure. For tracked machines, what specific checks must be made to the track belt? Note: the operator's manual for the machine being used for the test must be available for reference by the candidate. Answer as per the manual. Note: the page number of the manual must be quoted by the candidate verbally for the recording. Question 22. Using the operator's manual, state the cold starting procedure for the machine. Note: the operator's manual for the machine being used for the test must be available for reference by the candidate. Answer: as per the manual. Note: the page number of the manual must be quoted by the candidate verbally for the recording. Question 23. On articulated dumpers, steering is achieved by actuating a hydraulic ram which is controlled by turning the steering wheel. A. How does the engine supply the oil flow, and B. What happens to the steering when the engine stops? Answer: A. Via an engine-driven pump. B. There is no or very limited steering. Question 24. If checking the oil level using a dipstick, why must gloves be worn? Answer: can prevent skin diseases and prevents contamination of oil onto the operating controls and cab. Question 25. Apart from the operator, who else may need to use the machine's operator's manual? Answer: supervisors, planners, maintenance staff, low-loader drivers. Question 26. A dumper is classified by a manufacturer as a 6-ton dumper. What does this mean? Answer: the maximum carrying capacity of the dumper, by weight. Question 27. Most side dumpers have the engine at the rear. State the main reason for this. Answer: provides a counterweight effect to the load in the skip. Question 28. During work, the engine starts to overheat. Explain the danger if someone tries to remove the radiator or expansion tank cap. Preparing for work continued. Answer: the cooling system is normally pressurized and removing the cap can allow hot water to escape uncontrollably with the potential for causing severe burns. Question 29. What allows the wheels to follow the contours of the ground when traveling on uneven ground? Answer: the oscillation pivot allows the wheels to follow the terrain on uneven ground and provides traction. Question 30. Give 4 reasons that may cause the dumper to tip over sideways during travel. Answer: turning incorrectly on slopes, excessive speed on turning, traveling across an incline, deep potholes, etc. Question 31. A. What is the minimum distance allowed near open trenches when traveling with a dumper? B. Explain why. Answer. A. The minimum distance to be more than the depth of the trench. B. Any less can cause a trench collapse. Question 32. Why must the seat belt be worn at all times? Answer. In the event of a rollover, as is reasonably practical, keeps the main body of the operator within the confines of the operating seat, which may minimize injury by not being flung around the cab. Question 33. If the machine is being traveled or working on the public highway, including adjacent pavements and verges, the Road Traffic Act applies. A. What type of license and which class should the operator hold? And B. What is the minimum age allowed? Answer. A. UK or approved driving license, car bearing class B. B. 18 years of age for vehicles between 3.5 to 7.5 tons, and 21 years of age for vehicles exceeding 7.5 tons. Question 34. When traveling on wet clay, what effect does this have on the dumper? Answer. Tire grip is reduced, which may cause loss of control. Question 35. Manufacturers must give recommendations on how to travel a dumper up and down inclines. If this information is not known firsthand, what is the general rule about traveling up and down slopes? Answer. The heaviest part of the machine is kept uphill. Question 36. How is it possible that dumpers, even when traveling on gentle gradients, are not overloaded and not being driven at excessive speed, can still tip over? Answer. A culmination of events by introducing extra factors such as turning uphill and at speed can cause overturning. Question 37. A. Name 3 purposes of the raised lugs on tires. B. What can happen to a dumper if the lugs are severely worn? A. Provide traction, grip for moving, steering and braking in soft mud. B. Can have a reduction of traction, steering and braking. Question 38. If setting up to work in a pedestrianised area, state 3 factors that need to be taken into account. Answer. Physical segregation of pedestrians from work, machine movement, noise, fumes. Question 39. Whenever possible, who should decide the positioning of the dumper when being loaded? Answer. The excavator operator. Question 40. The operator is asked to tip material into a new trench. State 5 different requirements that must be considered or implemented before tipping commences. Answer. Trench edge collapse shoring requirements, checking for surrounding hazards, authorization to tip, permit to work, where required, trench clear of people, access, egress routes and supporting ground, all stop to prevent driving into the trench. Question 41. Give 2 reasons for using a swivel skip dumper over a conventional forward tipping skip. Answer. Discharging materials into trenches on the move for backfilling purposes, having insufficient maneuvering room, in a confined area, to use forward tipping mode. Question 42. What problems and hazards can soft ground cause to a loaded dumper? Answer. Sunk and stuck machine, tip over sideways. Question 43. Give 2 reasons why the dumper operator should have an understanding of the type of spoil being transported. Answer. It can affect the way it is transported. Fluid or semi-fluid materials, a denser material may overload the tires before full, the load may stick to the skip when tipping the load, semi-fluid or light soils, may spill during transporting or turning, it may need to be tipped at a different location. Question 44. When working in a confined area or space, what danger can be present with an articulated dumper with regards to steering? Answer. Steering the pivoting part of the dumper into obstructions. Question 45. Discharging loads whilst moving is not considered best practice. Why would this be? Answer: the movement of the load whilst discharging can adversely affect the stability of the dumper in motion. Question 46. When working in a confined area or space, name 3 hazards that can occur. Answer: fumes, noise, limited visibility, proximity hazards, excessive maneuvering. Question 47. If operating high lift or scissor skips, A. What is the recommended minimum distance to be kept away from overhead power lines on wooden poles? B. Explain why a distance should be kept. Answer: A. 9 meters plus the tipping height and length of the skip. B. High voltage electricity can arc across large gaps in certain conditions. Question 48. Why do high-tip dumpers need particular care when tipping? Answer: the high center of gravity can cause the machine to tip over if not on level ground. Question 49. Who should determine the maximum load that should be placed into the skip of the dumper? Answer: the dumper operator. Question 50. State 2 requirements of using a stop block or earth bank, berm, at a trench discharging point. Answer: to indicate the stopping point and to prevent the machine overrunning into the trench, as far as is reasonably practical. Question 51. When forward tipping a load, the center of gravity of the machine changes. A. What effect does this have on the dumper? B. State 2 actions to avoid accidents. Answer: A. Weight is transferred to the front. B. Tip slowly and on level ground, wherever possible. Question 52. What might happen if the load is tipped onto a downward slope? Answer: weight transfer can cause the machine to tip forward. Question 53. Operators should lower the skip fully before driving away. Give 2 possible consequences if this is not carried out. Answer: the machine could tip over sideways, especially on uneven ground, and the raised body could strike overhead objects. Question 54. If considering to use the dumper to transport a wide load, what needs to be taken into account? Answer: the load to be secured, stable, prove the route to be taken, check for hazards. Question 55. Name 3 problems that could occur if the skip is overloaded with a dense compacted material. Answer: forward visibility can be reduced, tires, axle loadings exceeded, skip unable to tip, machine tipping when discharging. Question 56. What is the meaning of this hand signal, being demonstrated by the tester? Answer: emergency stop. Question 57. Larger dumpers use a turbocharged engine. A. What is the normal procedure before switching off the engine after working? B. What happens if the procedure is not followed? Answer: A. Idle the engine for a few minutes. B. Turbocharger life is shortened. Question 58. Before leaving the dumper for a rest break, after parking and switching off the machine, A. What final action must be carried out? B. Why? Answer: A. The dumper must be isolated. B. To prevent unauthorized individuals from starting, moving, operating the machine. Question 59. When parking the machine at the end of the shift, name 3 places where the dumper should not be parked. Answer: side roads, access, egress routes from, pedestrian routes, soft ground, wet ground, steep ground. Question 60. Why should a dumper be refueled at the end of the day? Answer: to minimize condensation build-up in the fuel system. Question 61. The operator has been asked to drive the machine onto a transporter or trailer. A. Who is responsible for the loading operations? B. State 4 actions to be considered by the operator before loading commences. Answer: A. The transporter driver. B. Ground support, trailer ramp condition, ramp grip and incline, overhead and other proximity hazards, positioning on the trailer. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to support this channel. Thank you for watching, and good luck with your test.